Hello everybody and welcome back to Dana's Coloring Obsession. Here is our new book for our color along, full book community color along. It is now in my top 25. I switched some out. My list has already changed. I might do another one at the beginning of the year because it's kind of changed. But anyways, Die Welt unter der Lupe Zulande by Rita Berman. Looking through the magnifying glass at land, or something to that nature. I did show this before, but I have completed one page in here, and I said I would talk about it on my first color along in this book, so for our community. So this, I used polychromos, the outline of the honeycomb. I used a super golden marker. The black is glaze, jelly roll glaze. Polychromos, I think I said, for all of the pencil, the pink and the greens. Some of the pink on the butterflies is Langau gel pen, and I have some white Tule art in the flowers. And on the bee's wings, I also put over the bee's wings some Mod Podge Glitter Extreme. I wasn't really happy with the wings on the bees, but the page overall I liked. So that's what I used on there. And it's finished, so we technically have one finished page in here. And I put a little counter here on the back. There wasn't really a blank spot, so I just stuck it here for myself, of all 74 pages. Now I count, just so you guys are aware, for example, I count this as 2 pages. So all the double page spreads, it is 1 picture, I get that, but I count it on my little counter as 2. So that's why there's 74 pages on my little counter here. Okay, so yeah, so our next one is the winter page that we picked on another video. It's the deer page, or reindeer. I think he's just a deer. I already have a little piece of paper here behind. And I think we are going to go ahead and do some, I was looking at the colors in all of my pencils, and I'm going to go with Albrecht Durer's for basing most everything, my watercolor pencils. And then, since they're the same as the polys, I'm going to go over it again once it's dry with polychromos for shading and such. And then we're going to go in with probably a Tule art pen for some snow effects, and do something glittery on these big snowflakes. I'm calling them snowflakes. I've seen on Pinterest some people used, like, just drew lines and did like ornaments, which was clever. But I think we're just going to outline the outside like with Tule art, and maybe do some dotting and stuff on the inside as well with some Tule art, but I want to incorporate some sparkle into those. We're just kind of chatting here, but yeah, we're going to have a lot of Tule art on the page at the end for snow, if all goes well. But so I am going to get my first set of Albrecht Durer out to start coloring, and I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit, so hold on please. Okay, here we are. And I think we're going to start with the background. I'm going to get some dark blues, like probably Indanthrene and dark indigo. And we're going to do a pretty simple background, but once all the snow is on, it's going to look amazing, I think. I don't believe, are you focused all the way, camera? I hope the lighting's okay, you guys. I've been struggling with my lighting forever, it seems. All right. Sorry if you can hear somebody's lawn stuff. It never fails. I start filming or recording and somebody behind my house decides to run their weed eater or their lawnmower. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Sorry if you can. All right, so I've got these two so far in my Albrecht Durers, and you can't really see because of the glare, but it's Indanthrene Blue 247, and then on the bottom here it's Dark Indigo 157. Okay, and I'm gonna sharpen them because they are not sharp. Now I decided to go a little bit muted, not muted necessarily, like we're still gonna have some rich colors, but not like the bright blue, light blues and stuff, because we're gonna have a lot of those kinds of pages for Christmas type stuff. So we're gonna start down here at the bottom, and I am gonna just, with the darkest color, which is the indigo, 157, dark indigo. And you can, if you don't have the Albrecht Durers, you don't have to base it with watercolor pencils. You can just go in with your polys. Again, like I said, they're the same color, basically the same color ranges and the same names and things. So you can do that, or just, you know, obviously color it however you want to, because we're just coloring today together. This is not, I'm not a professional. Okay, so first and foremost, his neck comes over here, like down this way. I kind of want to, you know what, I'm going to get my, hold on. I was looking at this before and I was a little bit confused, and there are some people on Pinterest who thought his body, he's like turning his head and this is his body, and that's what I thought. So right here is his like back and down to his bum or whatever over here. But there, one person actually did his, like made a line here and had his body just going this way and had this be like a hill of snow. So we could go either way. I think what I'm going to do is have him turning his head, and this is his body, because that's how I originally thought it was going to be. So I'm going to draw I'm going to get a pencil first, because I don't want to, I don't want to mess up with the pen and then have it be permanent. So if you don't have one, something like this, a fine liner would work too, but just be careful. The micron pens don't smear usually with, a lot of people use this for journaling and stuff, and I use them on my pages if I'm going to add a line or something, which doesn't happen very often because I'm not an artist, but so if you're interested in this, it's the they're micron, and they're not too expensive. You can get loads of them, and this is the 0.45 milliliter or 0.45 mm, and it's really tiny. And I just got like a pack of 2 a long time ago, and they've lasted me forever. So anyways, this is just black, and it's fine, a fine liner, and I'm going to use a pencil first because I don't want to make it look weird and have it be wrong, because he's turning his head, so his shoulder is going to come out, but it's also going to go down because he is to his leg. But see, I already messed up. Let me get, my glasses are on my head, not on my eyeballs. At this, but I am just going to outline what I did here. There. Okay, sorry for my sniffles. I'm going to be sniffing a lot. I'm going to try to edit most of those out if I can. I'm really hoping I'm not getting sick because my son is super sick right now. He's not, doesn't have COVID. He tested negative. That's good. But over Thanksgiving, we had Thanksgiving here and my sister got really sick. And then it seems that Mason got sick like 3 days after her. So I don't know where we got the bug, but we had a whole bunch of people in the house. So who knows, you know. But yeah, it's not COVID. It's just a nasty bug. Just a nasty bug. Okay, so let's actually get started on the page. And I've decided, I think, unless the page is really simple, like there are a few in here that I'll definitely do in one sitting, you know what I mean, like this one, and the more simpler pages that I don't think will take very long. But most of these will probably be a two-parter, not more than 2 parts. I won't do more than 2 parts, but that way I can get at least half of a part out at the beginning so you guys can get started if you want to. And then because it takes me so long, I want you guys to be able to get started. So in this book, it might be different than the Hannah Carlzone pages though, because it's smaller and more doable for me, which might be a thing for our full book color alongs, but I might get faster, who knows. And I will be able to film longer in longer spurts and stuff too after I have surgery. So yeah, okay. So we're gonna take, like I said, the dark indigo, and these are the Albrecht Durers I'm using first. So we're gonna kind of shade and stuff with them, and then I'm gonna go in with a water brush and activate them all. So let's see here. Down here is going to be the darkest areas. So I'm just going to kind of fill this in, really. If I can keep the page down. Whoop. And we're going to go in with our polys as well. Like I said, this is going to be our base. Okay, now we're going to take Indanthrene Blue and just a little bit go and shade over and add a little more blue to the dark indigo we've got going on here. And I did put a little bit in the center of these guys to help add some color to our big snowflakes. And then we'll move forward. So this again is the Indanthrene or Indanthrene Blue 247. Okay, I've got my handy dandy Arteza water brush. It's a push button one. I like these better than the ones that you just squeeze and the water kind of comes out. I just feel like I have a lot more control with these ones than the other ones, and that it's just a preference of mine. So I'm just going to go in from darkest to lightest and try to fade it out into the white of the background. And if I still feel like there's a afterwards, after it dries, if I still feel like it needs a little bit lighter blue to transition to the white, if I can't fade it out enough like I want it to look, I'll probably use a sky blue in the watercolors. Just FYI, I'm not doing that yet because I'm going to see if this is just going to work or not for me on how I want it to look, and then we'll move forward. Let's do this. Okay, you guys, and so that's what I'm gonna do around the edges everywhere. It looks like I'm not gonna need the light blue. I like it just how it is. Once it dries, we will go in spots probably with my polys to maybe smooth it out a little bit, but I like the painterly kind of look that's happening here, and with the snow on top of it everywhere, I think that it's gonna look really neat. Okay, now that around the deer and stuff is done, we're just gonna do this, and I'm gonna start in the center and kind of just get the dark spot to go. Dab off so that I don't get too much going around the edge, trying to not get lines. Dabbing off. Dabbing off. Just blending out to nothingness with the water. That's what I tried to do there. Now remember that I am not a pro. And I actually don't have a lot of experience with the Albrecht Durers yet. I mean, I've done some with the Albrecht Durers. I know that, FYI, they work fantastic in the Teddy Bear Therapy book and the Furball book by Diane DeFore. Just FYI. Really fun to work with in those books, to me. And all her papers kind of the same in her books, I feel like. So it's probably going to work in her mermaid book and her new dragon book too. I'm guessing. I haven't used it in there yet, but I'm guessing. Okay, that one kind of turned out different, but that's fine. We're going over all of this with white tulle art and sparkles of some kind. I haven't decided yet, totally. Sorry, hope you could see some of that. I'm just spreading it out like I was before with the deer and stuff. I'm just getting rid of any lines that I don't like, if I can. Okay, what else here should we start with? So that's the background done for now. Okay, for his antlers, we're gonna go in with the Albrecht Durers, and we're doing cold grays, 3 of them. Cold gray 4, 5, and 6. So cold gray 4 is 233, cold gray 5 is 234, and cold gray 6 is 235. Make sure you guys can see all of it. So I'm going to go in with the darkest, which is cold gray 6. And I'm just going to do some, I'm ignoring the squirrely bits, just FYI. You don't have to, but I am. I'm not much of a Zindoodly kind of girl, but I can do like Rita, and then Lolita Iyer. If you haven't gotten her book, I suggest it. It's amazing. I still have to do another. I haven't done anything in that book in a really long time, since like summer of last year, I think, or longer. Okay, so I'm just going around basically outlining the antlers with the dark, this cool gray 6. I might not use the cold gray 4. We'll see how it looks when I do, after I am done with 6 and do 5. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Cold Gray 5, 2, 3, 4. And just blend through what I've done here and go a little bit out more, like that. And honestly, I'm not going to use, did I say 4? It's Cold Gray 5. I'm thinking I said 4, but I don't know if I did. Yeah, I don't think, because I can blend it out with the water, I don't think I need to use that third color here. Okay, so I'm not going to use the Cold Gray 4. I am going to activate the gray Albrecht Durers now with my water brush. Make sure it's clean from my blues. Okay, put the cap on here. Make sure I don't have too much water coming out. Okay, I'm gonna start from down here. Quite a bit of water. And do exactly what I did with my gray blues. Words are hard. From darkest to lightest, and dab off when I have too much color. That if I have too much color, I don't like the darkness. Being careful not to make lines that I can't go over. Okay. Sorry if you can hear the train. Boy, that really lightens up when you activate it. Okay, so that's how it's gonna look over here. Okay. So there are the antlers, and now let's do his body. Okay, so I am going to go in with my darkest, oh sorry, I didn't tell you yet. For his body, I'm going to use these 3. I'm using Burnt Umber 280, Albrecht Durer, Raw Umber 180, and Brown Ochre 182. And I'm starting with the darkest. And I'm going to figure out where I'm shading here. Shadowy bits, darker areas. Under his ear here. And I'm not going realistic, you guys. I don't do well with fur. I have to practice a lot more before I do fur with you guys. I think, again, I don't know. I just feel bad because it never turns out as good as I was hoping. So you obviously are welcome to do fur, but I am just not very good at it. So I'm probably not going to do any bits that are furry. Down here. Right now I'm just doing the dark brown bits where the shadows would be, or where I feel like he needs dark brown hair, basically. These Albrecht Durers work amazingly in this Rita Berman book, you guys, by the way, if you were curious. I am having a fantastic time with them right now. And the paper is holding up. It is warping a little bit, but after it gets flattened, like by books or stuff, over time it's going to be fine, and there's no bleed through or anything, just FYI. And I used quite a bit of water in some places, like right here I had too much water come out of my brush and stuff, and it did fine. It did just fine. So just FYI. Okay, and I'm under his chin here, probably just a little bit. Some more dark brown. Okay. Do I need any dark brown? Maybe a little here. He's gonna have fantastic eyeshadow, guys. Look at that fantastic wing we've got going on here. Okay, I think that about does it for that. Well, this is much of a line. I need to smooth that out a little bit. Sorry for my boops from my phone, guys. Here, I'll take that so it doesn't keep booping. Okay, so down here is going to be pretty dark because we are, you know, down in the shadows here. So it's going to be mostly dark brown down here, I think. You can't see, sorry. All I did was this and that. Oh, poor Mason. I can hear my boy just hacking up a lung in his room. I feel so bad for him. He hasn't been this sick for a while. But I'm glad it's not COVID. Now, there's not really much of shape from him here. So I'm just gonna go darker down here, and just shade around the plants, I guess. you'll see what I'm doing here is once I activate it. Okay. I didn't do anything over here. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just trying to think through some of the shady bits. Okay, in this corner because of the scarf. Okay. And I think I'm just going to go in with the second lighter color in those places. So let me put this down and I'm going to grab the raw umber 180. Okay, sorry for my sniffles. And I'm just, so he's got gonna have a white patch here. His muzzle, I don't know if it's called a muzzle for deer here. I want to kind of, what am I doing here? Well, I know that I wanted this here. Okay, now I'm going in with the lightest color, which is the brown ochre, 182. I am going to leave a little bit of white, I think, so that, because the Albrecht Durer is going to spread. So I'm just kind of lightly going over some of this stuff. Okay, now I'm going to take water in my Arteza brush and my little, where did it go? I'm hiding it from myself, my rag. And we're going to do the activating part. Hopefully it turns out okay. Let me make sure I'm all clean from the grays we used in the antlers. Okay. Should be good. And I'm going to start with the darker stuff. Come down our jaw. The key I'm finding to controlling this the way you want it is wiping off a great deal so that you can start fresh with your brush and you don't muddle what you want the colors to be. See, as I'm wiping off, there's no more on my brush, so I'm able to pull the color and spread it thinner. Does that make sense? And I am by no means good at this. If you want like a tutorial on the Albrecht Dürers, I would suggest you go to Shell, from Shell's Coloring Journey, Shelly. Her love for these Albrecht Dürers is like no other. They're amazing pencils. I love them, but she can do magic with these pencils. A lot of colorists can do amazing things. I'm not just, but I have watched Shelly since I started the adult coloring. Oh God, I got some blue in there. But yeah, I have watched her since my beginnings. So she's the one that springs to mind the most for me. And remember, I am going to go over this with polys a little bit. Trying not to get too much water in one place. Okay, it will look better, you guys, with the polys, don't worry. You can always even it out. I just got it on her other jawline. It's fine. It's fine. Her other jawline, like she has more than one. Did you hear that? Just thinking about it like, oh, that's nice, Dana. Okay. Ear time. Okay, so there is the base layer of our deer. I know he looks a little rough, but don't worry. It's just to save my hands from the pencil work that we're gonna do. Okay, so there's the background done, the deer done. I actually am really happy with the background and the way it looks. I don't know that I'm gonna use too much pencil on that, honestly. But he's gonna need some work, but he needs to dry. He needs to dry. All right, now we're gonna take our Albrecht Durer colors, these 3 colors here, and we are going to use them on the berries and the lightest color on the inner ear of the deer. Okay, so they are Red Violet 194, Burnt Carmine 193, and Pompeian Red 191. Have to sharpen them. Okay. So I'm going to take the the darkest, the red violet, and I'm just going to go where the shadows would be, or where I want the shadows, I should say, because I'm not a master of shadows here. Oop, can you not see? You cannot see. Okay, sorry about that. Like so. Make sure my under page here goes all the way over there. We go. And then I'm going to take the burnt carmine. Sorry if you can hear sirens. And the lightest color, which is the Pompeian Red, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry, dogs barking and all that. Okay, and then I'm going to activate that with you after I fill these in. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy Arteza and my rag. Make sure I don't have anything on the brush other than water. And then darkest to lightest. Too much water. Shoot. It's okay. Maybe not okay. I might have to go back over this now because it's going to be really washed out. No, I think it'll be okay. Just a lot of water came out of my brush all of a sudden. A lot of water. Okay, just like that. Excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the little bushels of berries all the same. And then up here is just going to be the lightest color I have, which is the Pompeian Red, for this little weed or flower. I don't know, whatever that is. Alright, I put a little bit of the Pompeian Red in the inner ear of the deer as well. But the berries are done. Well, with the Albrecht Durers anyway. And now we're going to do just the holly leaves with these two colors. Excuse me. They are Earth Green 172 and Chromium Green Opaque 174. Okay, so with the darkest color, the Chromium Green Opaque, I am gonna kind of fill out the bottom here a little bit. And then this side that's got the hash marks from Rita. And I'm going to actually do that on all of them. Actually, I'll just do these two with you real quick, and then I'm going to fill out the rest with the lighter color, the earth green. Like that. Now I am going to put a little more pigment down for the darker green. Okay, then we'll activate it together and I'll do the rest of the holly leaves by myself. Just cleaning my brush, making sure there's no red still in it. All right, it's stained, but it's clean. Too much water. Okay, starting with the darker side. Wipe it off a little bit. Same over here. Alright, and I'm going to do that on all of the holly leaves. Okay. Now for the rest of the leaves and the needles, I'm going to use these 3 greens. They are Chrome Oxide Green 278, Permanent Green Olive 167, and Earth Green Yellowish 168. Let me get a sharpen. Okay. Darkest color. And then on these little sprig looking ones, we're doing the same thing. Middle green, which is the permanent green olive. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the darkest on the stems. Okay. And then our lightest color is in the middle. Like that, and then we'll activate. Okay, like that. So I'm going to do all those leaves like that, but we are also going to do on the pine needles here, or fir needle, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do some dark, some medium, and some light, just filling in. like this. Okay, and just activate them. Okay, once you do all the greenery, and I will too, we're going to go to the scarf, and I decided to put some bling on. These are the Langau Shiny 1mm plus is what they're called. They do have numbers on them. So the green is SG64 and the red is SG26. Okay, and I'm gonna go every other triangle basically. Well, that's not really, just follow as I do. I'm just gonna like every other one type thing is all I'm gonna do with the shinies, and I'm gonna disregard some of the Zen Doodly stuff in the scarf. So I'm gonna start with my green just down here. Okay, thank goodness. All right, so I'm going to go off and do all of the rest of the leaves, and then when we come back in part 2, we will shade with our polys everything and add our embellishments, our white Signo or Posca or whatever you want to choose, you know, your choice of white gel pen or paint pen. And then we're going to do a little more work on the pine needles as well, and finish off the scarf. And then we'll be done. So stay tuned for part 2, the beginning of next week. Well, Tuesday or Wednesday, because Mondays are more Monday mashups. So probably closer to Wednesday so that I have time for editing and things. But thank you for hanging out with me for part 1. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.